Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam Ajnananashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Let's begin the satsang by offering our humble prostrations to lotus feet of our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Sri Muralidhara Swamiji, because of whose boundless grace we are all here today. Today is indeed a very, very special day, because by the will of our Guru Maharaj, by the divine will of our Guru Maharaj, sometime in late November and the beginning of December, a very rare thing happened in Chennai, where Guru Maharaj resides, which is he allowed us, that's actually the right word to use, he permitted us to speak about the manner in which he had touched the lives of different devotees. Because normally, Swamiji never allows us to do that. We would never entertain such a thing. So it was a very rare occasion that because many devotees wanted to hear about Guruji. It started on Ekadasi Day. On that day, to hear this, that led to this whole thing. So that way, it's Guruji who has answered the call, and I think I am blessed to be here today in the midst of all these Matnas here to be sharing this. And there's no greater joy than this, than to talk about the Guru, because this is really the purpose of life itself. So I wish to thank you for this opportunity and that wish that came to you. So which has given this opportunity to share about Guruji one more time, to relive the whole thing. So as I said again, this is a very special day because all through life, since the time we are born, we spend every second, every minute, every hour, day after day, doing so many things, speaking so many things, gossiping, talking about worldly matters, to the point that we almost forget the reason why we were blessed with the tongue itself, because the real purpose itself is lost at times. And that is why Swamiji always used to quote Bhagyanathan by saying that tongue and that mouth that is not used to speak of the glory of God and to chant His names is vile Sankirtan, he would say. It's written in Bhagavatam. It's the garbage pit that is found outside the hall, where food falls in, all kinds of junk falls in, and it just keeps coming out. What difference is there between that mouth, which is used for everything other than speaking of the glory of God, chanting His names, he would say. For us, speaking of the glory of God is no different from speaking about the Guru Maharaj. So this day, that way we have made it productive because we are going to speak about Him and think about Him, to actually use the tongue for the purpose for which it was created in the first place, to sing the glories of the Guru, to expound on what was titled as Guru Premamritam, His divine leelas. It's been said that the greatest sadhana, the greatest fortune there is for a disciple is to glorify his Guru. Guru Prakashaye Dhiman, he said. But when we look at it from the perspective of a person like me, like myself, an ordinary person, this sounds too out of context, because who are we to glorify Him in the first place? Who am I to glorify Him? If at all, by the way I express it, I might bring it down a little bit. That is really what can happen. The real thing is so big, it is so great, because He is that strong. And by way of trying to glorify Him, trying to express Him, the only thing that I could effectively end up doing is bringing it down a little bit, but still nevertheless I like to do it very much. So here we are. Well, speaking of the Guru, it is often said that he is that boundless ocean, that unfathomable ocean, that deepest ocean whose depths can never be known. A little child goes to the ocean and gets some shells from the ocean, from the beach. Shows it to the mother and says, "Mother, this sea is full of shells." He says, "Yes, it's right. Yes, it does have shells, but there's another child that goes in that gets some, sees spots a lot of fishes and crabs, and she comes back and says that, that sea is full of fishes and crabs." Very true. And then there's the fisherman who goes in and gets the bigger fish, the sharks. And then you have these deep sea divers who go to try to get the pearl. Each of them think and believe that the sea is full of just that. To that extent they could reach, they think that this is full of shells, or full of fishes, full of these precious pearls. But the fact remains that the ocean is far beyond all of this. It has all of this and more. Nobody will ever know. That is exactly what the position that I am in, is that of that little child trying to grasp this little, handful of water, and whatever comes in that handful, I like to think that is really what Guru is all about. But it's way beyond all of this. It's deeper than all of this, and I'm sure that every one of you have experienced it yourselves. Well, speaking of Bhagavan, God, which applies to the Guru also, because we have told it's Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is said that God is Sarva Shakta, Sarva Antaryami. He is a Sarvajna. He is all powerful. He knows everything. He is omnipresent. All these things are spoken about him as his attributes. If we for a moment just sit and contemplate on those attributes, Sarva Shakta is all powerful. He knows everything. There's not one thing that he does not know. He is omnipresent. He is present everywhere, inside and outside. The only thing that we are left with at the end of such an exercise is fear. Just fear, plain fear. It just grips you, thinking, what am I doing standing next to him? What am I doing trying to talk about him? What am I trying to do? Trying to describe his leaders. That is the only feeling that remains. Like how Arjuna felt after he saw the Vishnu of Krishna. That was when he was scared. That's really what happened. But with all these attributes, there's one more very important attribute that has been described of the Guru. Here I'm going to use the word, because it's a circle of bhaktas who understand what he's doing, I'm just simply going to use the word Guru. For me, Guru is God, God is Guru, nobody else. So, for Guru, it says that he is an ocean of kripa, of compassion, kripa sagara. Because if he did not have this one attribute, we will never be able to get near him. That omnipresent, all-powerful, all-knowing God, how will we ever get close to him? It is because he is that ocean of mercy and love that he is. He hides all of this and constricts himself to live in our midst, like almost to the point that we start comparing ourselves with him. To that extent he comes down. The Guru comes down. Our Swamiji has come down. So it is because of that attribute we are able to get anywhere near him. Which is why, well, speaking of every Mahatma and every great saint, they have always been regarded as the incarnation of some God, as an Amsa of some God, as the Kalavatar of some God. If we want to say that about our Swamiji, I will very confidently say that if we have to call him an avatar of something, for me that is even not enough. He is Guruji, that is enough. But if we were to say that